everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. We are going to use the Sky's the Limit stamp set today, and you can only get this stamp set till February 15th. It's a free celebration stamp set, so make sure if you want it that you put in a $50 order and get it for free. Okay, I'm starting out with a piece of 4" by 5¼ white cardstock, Whisper White cardstock, and I'm using So Saffron ink to just sponge the center. Then I have a half of a 1¾ circle punch, and I'm layering it down on top to just mask off this area to create a sunset. I'm going to use Blushing Bride ink to go in and ink around the edges of this sunset, and then I'll use Perfect Plum to go in and ink on the outside edges. So I'm going down below the sunset because that's where my water will be, and I want there to be a reflection in the water of the colors. So I wanted to mention that this card was designed and created originally by Angela Lorenz in Australia, and she is just so magnificent. The stamp, or the card she came up with, is just unbelievably beautiful. And so I just had to case it. But I want to give her full design credit. If you live in Australia, check her out. She's also part of Kylie Bertucci's Stampin' Up! Team. And so you just want to check out Angela Lorenz. And there's a link to her blog on my website at Love and Stampin'. Okay. So now I'm going in with the Perfect Plum, and I'm just kind of inking the edges on the outside, trying to stay away from the center so that I don't muddy things up too much. And then I have Marina Mist, and I'm going to go in with Marina Mist, and I'm going to sponge in from the top down, and I'm going to sponge from the bottom up on the bottom part of this. All the while I'm leaving on that mask just to protect the sun underneath, because I really want to make sure that that's a bright spot in this card. So I'm going to go ahead and add here on the bottom, and you can just see I'm using big circular motions, and I kind of start off the paper and move in. And that the reason for that is because you get the bulk of the ink off by starting on the outside, and then you work your way in. And as you can see, I kind of have a white spot that I have left in the center down at the bottom, and there's a reason for that. So you'll see that in a little bit. I'm using Night of Navy to go in and darken up all the edges and just create kind of that dusk feel is my goal here. And I guess you could look at it as sunrise too, but it's really more for me like a dusk. I wanted more of a dusk feel. Then I have Daffodil's Light, and it's a much stronger yellow, and I'm going to go in and create that glow going across the center of the water. So you can see now why I kind of left it lighter in the center there and didn't use a bunch of ink in the center. So I'm going back in with my Night of Navy and just kind of giving some shape to that glowing reflection and darkening the edges just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and peel away the mask, and just be very gentle when you peel your mask away, so that you don't rip your paper. And I've created 2 other masks just by ripping some Simon Says Stamp adhesive paper. So this is masking paper from Simon Says Stamp, and I just ripped it and then pulled the release paper off the back, and I'm laying it down. I tore it to kind of have a rough edge because we're creating the illusion of mountains or even like rocks. And so you're just going to leave a little bit of a gap in between, and however it suits you. I just played with it here a little bit till I got it the way I wanted. You're going to use Early Espresso ink to go ahead into the center and start adding some color, dark color, I should say, because you want to essentially black this area out, but not completely. So I start with the Early Espresso ink, and then I go in with the black archival ink from Stampin' Up, and I ink kind of just the lower edge of this mountain range, leaving the top of the mountains more of the Early Espresso or brown. So as I add this the black archival ink, it just really kind of gives it more depth, darkens it, and dimension, gives it some dimension. Again, I want to just say Angela was amazing for coming up with this idea. She just did a phenomenal job. And I really struggled at first with how to use this stamp set, but now I can safely say that I have used this stamp set multiple times creating this exact card, because it's the perfect masculine card for a birthday, anniversary. You could use it for anything. And really, you could give it to a woman too, but it's very nice for a man. So now we're going to do our stamping. And I am going to simply use the black archival ink that I already had out. And I'm going to stamp my airplane above the sun. And the idea for me was to make sure, when I looked at Angela's, I wanted to make sure that the landing gear or the wheels in the plane were kind of coming down on top of the sun. So that really gives you a guide for the perfect, exactly where it should land. The happy birthday sentiment just goes up there in the top corner. And then I have the acetate sheet that is just a scrap piece of acetate from who knows what packaging. I save it all. And then I'm stamping it on here to create the mirror image. I will flip it over upside down, lay it down on top of my cardstock, and then I'll use my fingers, and sometimes I use my bone folder to really transfer the ink from the plastic onto the cardstock. So you just pull up and then you have this really amazing reflection. And it's just such a fun and easy technique to do. So after that was finished, I just put dimensional tape across the back. I wanted to make sure that that popped up really nice. So I added dimensional tape all across the back of this card front and adhered it to my card base. Again, if you're in Australia and you're looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can check out Angela Lorenz. And probably if you just Google her name, she'll come up. Or you can go to my website and there's a link directly to her blog. And if you're in the US and you need some products, I have products available in my online store from Stampin' Up! And you can check out all the information over on my blog at loveandstampin.com. I'm just going to go ahead and add some white ink here in the water to kind of give a ripple effect like I'm making waves. And then I took my Wink of Stella pen, my clear Wink of Stella, and added a little bit of glimmer. I don't think Angela did that. That was my little addition to this card. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. And you can also get free tutorials from me over on my blog by signing up at the top of the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. If you enjoyed this video, here's a couple other videos for you to check out. Just click the images you see and you'll be taken to that video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.